Hello, guys. Welcome back. So this is gonna be a little different, but it's gonna be fun. This is the Movie Amigos Podcast. I'm Gila,
I'm Josh.
I'm Juvenal.
and today we're gonna discuss a very interesting movie, a film. It's called Perfect Blue by what's his name again?
Satoshi Kon.
Yes, it's a Japanese film from 1997, and let's just say that we literally just finished watching it, like not even 20 minutes ago. So we're gonna talk about that today.
All together for the first time.
Yes.
Huh?
It was all of our first time.
Oh yeah, it's our first time watching it all.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
gonna be an interesting discussion. I'm very excited. So I guess
I've watched it before though.
What?
wait, what?
When I look in the mirror,
Oh my
my
God.
dad was watching it.
Okay,
Okay.
just to also clear it out, I mean, if it's not if you didn't get it from the title, there are definitely spoilers for this movie. Now, I would highly recommend for you to go watch the movie first and then listen to this, because
Yes.
we went in not really knowing what was up. Like, we were like, okay, let's just sit down and watch it. We've heard great things, but we don't know what it's about. So just go watch it and then come back, because it will be spoiled. But I mean, who knows? This discussion might not even go anywhere because we're very everywhere mentally.
Yes.
So anyway, that was the disclaimer. From here on out, we're definitely gonna talk about spoilers. All right, guys. So, what did you think?
That was a doozy. That's the best way I could put it. What a doozy. That was exhausting. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
Right,
I agree. I don't know. Okay, obviously, you guys are dudes. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna view this very differently.
Yes, we are.
I was very uncomfortable for the first 2/3 of the movie. Like, very, very uncomfortable. And I have to say that that's a good thing. Not a
Alright.
good thing that I felt uncomfortable, but like that a film could do that. Like, it did the right thing, right? I think that's what it was going for. I was just very uncomfortable. There's a lot of brutal scenes, especially towards like violence against women.
Yes.
And as a woman, I was very uncomfortable. But like I was like it just kind of shows like what you see on screen, especially because it's animation, right? It's not even like physical or whatever, which I don't know if that makes it more eerie or not, but it definitely led me there. Now, that's not all of it, but throughout this whole movie, I was just like, even though I felt uncomfortable at times, it was still like I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really liked it. I thought it was really, really great. What about you, Hube?
Like you said at first, I'm all over the place. I definitely don't know when it comes to, just to get into it, when it comes to what's real and what's not. I still don't know where to place everything. I feel like obviously, like I said before, I need time to digest it, right? More, but this is cool. This is like our initial thoughts. I'm confused, but I really, really enjoyed it, like very, very much. But it's not like you guys said before. It's not the type of confused that's in a bad way. I'm confused as in like the movie didn't leave me, I don't know, like wanting more questions to be answered, but more like I want to answer these questions myself.
Oh,
As in,
yeah,
like
I
to figure it
that.
out, to go through the thought process and think exactly what happened in each scene and what it might have been. But it's also great, like we were saying when we were watching the movie, I feel like Gila said, I feel like we're not gonna know when the movie ends. It's gonna end, or we're not gonna know it. They're not gonna give us any answers.
Right.
That's pretty much how it ended, sort of, kind of. And I was thinking the same thing when she said that. So that's how I feel. But it was great. I definitely recommend it. Many times watching it, at first, I'm thinking, okay, people are being so rude to this girl. What is wrong with them? This cute girl, whatever, so innocent. But then I started thinking, thinking of Repulsion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was very reminiscent of that, of like, okay, it's probably her. There's something wrong with her. I think it might be her. So then, yeah, I really enjoy that. And obviously Black Swan, like I'm sure you guys are going to talk about.
Yeah.
Those are my initial thoughts. I liked it.
No, yeah, I agree.
I really liked it.
I liked how you said that too. And well, since you mentioned Black Swan, I mean, I feel like the first podcast we ever did, we briefly touched on our favorite movies. And I recently rewatched Black Swan actually, just to make sure it was still my favorite movie, and it still is. So I obviously, it's not like a secret. It's a known fact that Black Swan definitely has similarities to this film because I mean, Darren Aronofsky owns the rights to this film, and I'm assuming he loves it. Why would he not own it otherwise?
Yeah.
Right? So he obviously took, like, I can't speak. He took some very, like, interesting inspiration. And if you watch Black Swan, like me, don't expect to get the same thing because it's not at all. Like, I was imagining one thing and it was very different in a good way.
I didn't expect what I was getting into whatsoever. You guys just like, okay, Perfect Blue, let's watch. Okay, let's watch.
Right. Oh,
Didn't
that's
know
awesome.
what I was getting into whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
obviously I'm surprised and but pleasantly like I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But yeah, I thought it was gonna be different. I thought it was gonna be, I don't know, more towards the vein of like Spirited Away because it's like because of the cover.
Oh, yeah.
She looked like
man.
transparent a little bit.
Yeah.
She's
So I thought
wearing
it was
like
gonna
a
be
black
spiritual,
bra.
but this is like different.
Yeah.
I don't
cover
know.
she's
I don't know.
wearing, yeah, like,
Yeah.
because she is wearing like light colors, but like underneath you can briefly see like the silhouette of like black lace.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
it's like a very sexual cover,
But
It's
it did
studied
come out
that way.
around the same time as Spirited Away.
which would
Okay.
make sense.
Very different films.
Yeah. Now that you
Very
mention that,
different.
the only context I went in with was the comparison to Black Swan.
Yeah, I
Is-
knew it because of Josh.
I've heard people say like, "Oh, it's Black Swan, but good," and I'm like offended
Wait,
because I
what?
like Black Swan.
Black
Yeah,
Swan
I'm
is
like-
great.
I'm like, excuse me, but it got me interested in watching this movie.
Right.
And when people talk about groundbreaking directors and stuff, Satoshi Kon kept coming up in the online discourse and whatever that I follow.
Right.
So it made me like doubly interested to watch this movie. For my general thoughts, I very much liked it as well. It was very disorienting,
Yeah.
which I liked, where it's like you couldn't get your bearings, and as soon as you got them, you're somewhere else. And the transitions and everything was just so
Oh,
trippy.
that was
They
my
were
favorite.
great. They were
That was my
great.
favorite
I was
aspect of
like,
the film.
like you can tell they put a lot of thought
Yeah.
into every scene, into establishing that like creating that sense of like, I don't know, the ground slipping from under you or something like. But as for the comparisons with other movies, yeah, I can 1,000,000% see where movies like, I don't know, Neon Demon or Black
Ooh,
Swan
those are great.
could draw, drew inspiration from movies like this. And to think that this came out like in the 90s,
Right.
it's like it is a different experience. It's not just like Hila said, it's not just Black Swan like anime.
right. No.
Because it's also informed by Japanese culture too. And
Yes, very much
the whole
so.
pop idol cycle, which was big in the late 90s, and it's making a return now.
Yes, it is.
Maybe not so much in Japan. Actually, in Japan as well.
Japan, Korea,
but
and
yeah,
like, yeah.
in Korea especially. But yeah, it is kind of funny to see that making a comeback. And there's always like, for as much as there's like fan theories, interpretations of music videos, fan videos of concerts and whatever, like there's like a dark underbelly to like that fame and obsession and whatever, which this movie depicts in a way that like I haven't seen before.
Okay, I agree with the whole like this hasn't been really depicted in film, but the sad thing is that we've heard many stories of how a situation like this has happened in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like we've seen it with like famous Selena,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we know who she is. She literally got murdered by her assistant because she was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Beady Beady Bam Bam.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
those who aren't familiar, Selena
Yeah,
was
that one.
Tex-Mex artist
Artist
in the early
In
90s.
the early 90s.
Who
yeah.
she really brought Tex-Mex, like the crossover to the mainstream with her music. And there was this lady who I've seen too many documentaries about Selena, who ran like a fan club about Selena, and ultimately got communication with her managers and stuff, and then ended up making that relationship work into like a professional relationship where she's working as her assistant and stuff, which ultimately led to she killed Selena out of like that obsession and whatever. Selena Quintanilla, for those who don't know, you could look her up. But yeah, and it was unfortunate, like in the prime of her life, like,
Yeah, she was young.
you know,
She
early
was like,
20s.
what, 20, 23?
She only had like, you know, a few like songs. Honestly, if you look at how people are now, like it wasn't, you know, and she was beloved too at that time.
Yeah.
So it was like to see that was sad, and it's like that does happen in real life, is what you're saying. So it is even
that's
more
kinda what
eerie
I'm saying.
to see like
Right.
that violence against women, or that uneasy tension of being watched constantly. Like,
Yeah.
Ugh.
That for me, I think that's kind of what got me. The idea of that voyeurism that comes from that type of film, because like for example in Black Swan, for those who haven't seen it, you don't get that, right? Because that's not the point. In this one, I don't know, man, just being there, and like who I mentioned, it's like disorienting, right? Like we don't know what's happening. Do we know, like finally when we get there, then we get a transition and we're like, wait, what? So the whole time we're like trying to keep up along with her, and we can't.
Yeah.
And because she can't, we can't. So we're kind of like living this with her, right? Like we're with her, we are her. And because we are her, like I said, we for me, obviously the big part also, like it's like she's a young girl growing into her fame, trying to like get rid of this like pop persona, like, oh, this cute little girl type thing. She wants to be more mature, she wants to be more respected. Now the question is, did she want to stop being a pop star, or did, like, because I was a little bit confused at that, because both the managers, I guess, I don't know what would be it, I guess one's her manager, the other one's her agent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question was like, one of them was like, no, she can be an actress. The other one's like, no, she needs to be a pop star forever. What are her feelings? So like, what did she want?
I think the movie did a good job in showing during those meetings she was always quiet. Like when they were arguing, she wasn't. There were times that they were arguing and she wasn't even there, you know. And they were like, "This is what she wants. No, she's got to do this to mature or whatever."
Right.
And then she was literally just sitting there quietly, you know. And then it gets to the point where she doesn't have control over anything anymore. Her identity. Who is she if she's not who is on screen, or if she's not who's in the magazines or in the public eye? Like that's what ultimately leads to that like dissociation of like what even is a person or an identity if it can be stolen online or
That's
impersonated
true.
or whatever. And it's like so like even more relevant now. Like this is in the infancy
Yeah,
of like
I agree,
like
for
you know
sure.
the internet. I mean, maybe not in the infancy, but at least those types of websites and stuff, like blogs and whatnot, like weren't in the state that they are now. So, like, it's funny, like, now this movie's even more relevant because, you know, like, how can we protect our identity? Like, I feel like is a theme of this movie on top of a bunch of other stuff. But.
That's actually very true. It is very present, because if you want to go, because you can literally take this movie in any way you want. You can pick an argument and definitely kind of argue for that and be like, oh, this is about finding your identity, or like about the exploitation of the media, especially young women, right?
Yeah,
especially during the whole Me Too movement type thing, like all those things. But you can also take it, like you mentioned, like the social media aspect of it, which when you were speaking, it kind of reminded me of Ingrid Goes West.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, like the like what is real. Like as audiences, I don't know for you guys, but like for me, I don't even know if she was the one. She wasn't the one typing it, right? It was the blog. It wasn't her.
I do think that it wasn't her.
It was Rumi, right?
I don't know about that. I
I
think
don't-
That one guy.
as for the
I
actual,
don't think
yeah, as
it
for
was the guy. I think it was Rumi. I don't know.
I think that the for the actual plot, I don't know. It's hard for me to make heads or tails of it. I think that Rumi and the janitor bodyguard guy were working together
Ooh.
or something.
That's interesting.
Because there are times that he got recordings of her talking, like, you know, where it's like, who got, you know?
He always had access to wherever
like-
they were filming.
Yeah, yeah.
He was just always able to get in somehow.
Which, I mean, was he even real? I don't know, but, you know.
Right, but I mean,
Right.
I think he was, because he was fighting with guys and stuff, like in the beginning.
Right.
but that's us seeing it through her eyes. I guess, yeah, that makes sense at the beginning. Huh. Yeah, also, okay, this is going to sound really dumb, and I apologize for that. But, I mean, he's, like, ugly, right? And he's creepy.
He is ugly and creepy.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
They-
But the whole time I was
They
like...
drew him that way on purpose.
Right, I know
You don't
that.
have to feel bad about it.
No, but I meant, like, I felt bad. I was like,
not.
why do you guys always have to make the ugly people the bad ones?
Oh, well, yeah.
That was just me
Right.
feeling... I was
That's
like,
true, actually. But
"Aw."
I guess it's so that they wanted to easily convey that to the audience.
But I mean,
Right.
ultimately, the pop idol, she's beautiful, right? Like the illusion,
Right.
like the hallucination
Yo, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
that would jump on streetlights and stuff. Like she was beautiful, but she was, you know, the that charming innocence, right, was like flipped over when she was like, "You're a filthy woman. No one wants you. You're not even you." And it was like,
Yeah, that's
We're like,
true.
you're a filthy woman.
yeah, right, yeah.
Because she would say it like,
Yeah,
Like, all
yeah,
cutesy
right,
and,
right,
like,
right.
hey, and, like,
How
kawaii, and-
scary! How scary!
It
'Cause it's
actually,
like-
see, because this also, I thought that was great. It reminded me of that anime I've told you to watch multiple times, which is,
Full Metal Alchemist.
no, Puella Magic.
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Magic, I forgot the name fully.
Madoka Magic.
That one. Yeah, that one, has a very cutesy, like, pop, cutesy, doll-like girls, but it's very eerie and dark. And, like, what? And it makes it creepier because they're young, cute girls.
Yeah, and what's it called? The I loved that that elevator scene, right, where they're like the song from the beginning. They show the concert where they're singing the
Yes.
song of like, you need to love and be aggressive or whatever, and they recontextualize it into this guy being murdered because by a
Bro.
crazy stan, you know, which is like scarier when you're hearing that in an empty parking garage. What the heck? You know,
It is creepy.
That was so.
That was a great scene.
that's
I'm
good.
like, that's how you make something creepy. You don't have to show us how you did that scene. It's the fact that it happened and you're like, because it wasn't, like, it was graphic, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
It was just there and you're like, oh.
But
it
yeah, as
happened.
for like intense or graphic scenes, like there were plenty.
yes.
And
Very
they were
much.
affecting.
Very much so. Okay. You know how some movies have shock value? Like, you know, it's shock value. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
Saw the
feel like,
sequels.
right. I feel like this movie took all the shocking things, but like they were part of the story. It wasn't like they were just there like, oh, what? That's gruesome, or like, oh, that's horrible. Like I feel like this is a good example of when something like that is needed. Maybe it could have been done without it, but you know what I mean? It wasn't used as a plot device, like as in like in a negative way. It was definitely used in a gruesome, but like for a reason, and I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But clearly we're just kind of still sitting here discussing how we feel about it. But like I said, overall, I really enjoyed it. This is definitely, I don't know if this is something that I would want to rewatch, but I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to rewatch it. Like I said,
I don't know if I can go for a rewatch. Yeah.
There,
And it's not the type of movie you have on in the background either, so I don't know where.
no, it's
So
no.
everything that happens, right? They place it in a way where we can't figure out, like, even from the beginning, like, was it her, was it Rumi, or was it the janitor, or the security? We can't place it like exactly, like we can't say it for sure, and that's one thing I really like about the film, that it doesn't just leave you, like, for example, you got the rug pulled out from under you, but it's like, I'm not upset about it,
Right.
because of all the things that it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
How they leave everything, how they place it.
Ooh, that actually reminds me of something else I wanted to talk about, is how meta the movie is. Because the movie's informed by, like, 90s Japanese pop culture with, like, the pop idols and stuff, but also the TV drama, which was itself was, like, an expression of the narrative. You know? Like, the way
true.
Satoshi Kon did that was, like, like, you're going crazy. Cut. Like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, so many times it was
so
like,
true.
it was like, and it was like, is like, we get that feeling too, where it's like, am I going crazy? Like, just like the main character, where she's like, she's talking to the actresses, confusing the names, like, or they're going through a scene and she goes and it's talking about the plot of the movie. And then they're like, okay, one more take. And then they go through the scene with the plot of the characters in the TV show in the movie. And it's like,
yeah, that is true.
Like, and they're like, cut, we got it. And it's like, what?
And right. And also, like, what's it called? Like, the big part of that was, like, whenever, like, she would have, the actress would put her hand on her shoulder and we'd be like, this is just an illusion. It isn't real life, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
Yeah.
So you're like,
illusions can't come to life.
or something like that. You're like, what? Am I going crazy? Also, that scene where she got hit with a truck.
Yeah. I don't know
What?
either.
But
I
she
don't know
knows
either.
it happened. That's what
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I got hit. It's like, I got hit with the truck. Maybe that's where I'm at now. This is just an illusion.
But also the whole time, Remy is gaslighting
Rumi. Her
is
name's Rumi.
gaslighting her.
Right. Because that's when I also, for a second, I assumed that she was, like, drugging her.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like every other time that she kept waking up randomly, it was in her own room. Like, she kept waking up in Rumi's room. Remember when she was like, what?
Yeah.
Or like when it said cut or action and she would wake up?
Yeah.
I imagined that it was
Bro, I didn't even...
Rumi's
Like, for the
room.
podcast listeners, my face is in shock right now. That's what's happening.
That's what I picture, because when, you know how, like, all the fish died in her apartment and that's when, like, she broke, which was that scene, man, that hurt my soul.
Yeah.
That hurt my soul.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, right. But then they show her right before that scene ends. You can see the fish, the tank in the background, and the fish are still alive.
Yes.
So was she imagining that?
I don't know.
See,
Because
exactly.
also she took the poster down,
She did take the poster down.
and then in the other room it was up.
Yeah, that's when she noticed that she's like, this isn't my room.
No, right. But I'm saying in that same scene when the fish died.
Yeah.
In
Yes,
the
and
same
they-
scene, the fish was still alive.
That's true. Because he did, like, the director made sure that we noticed.
That we noticed the fish was still
They're
swimming.
still swimming.
Yeah.
Huh. So either she imagined them dead,
Could have been.
or they got replaced.
Maybe the fish represents her.
Dying? I assume that because there was a lot of symbolism, which I really, really,
Don't
really
fish
loved.
float up to the top when they die?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were just like floating mid tank.
that's right.
Maybe that's some Japanese fish magic.
I don't know. I feel like a director that definitely detailed it that much. You know what I mean? He
Or
meant
maybe
that
it's
on
like
purpose.
a saltwater thing that they do, and then if it's freshwater, they don't
think-
float up. I don't know.
We all float when we die in the water. I mean, or alive. We float. You know what I mean? That is an interesting thing.
There was
but
something that. Oh, go ahead.
no, go.
I noticed when Rumi, right, her name,
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumi.
when in the rape scene when it was being filmed, I thought, oh, Rumi started breaking down because she cares about her friend or her client, right? She's her manager,
Yeah,
or her agent,
something like that.
one of the two. And so then she's like breaking down, but it was probably because of the main character, her side of the main character in her head. Not because of she cares about her in that way.
I saw it more as Rumi having been a victim of sexual assault.
Maybe, yeah.
Because when she kept saying, like, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do that. She's like, no, I'll do it. Like, I know it's acting or whatever. When that happened, she got up and she cried, got up and left. And then the guy kind of, like, saw her and she felt bad. To me, it felt like she didn't want to relive that. So if anything, that might have been when the delusion got worse.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because to me, it came off as like, oh, she has been through that before. Like, she's been through that. That's why she's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Like, if she has the choice to not do it, then why did she choose for it to happen? Because that scene was very, very graphic. And we know that it was acting, even when they were, like, cut in the middle of it. And you're, like, in full panic mode. And then they shout cut. And you're like, oh, my gosh, it's just acting. And then you kind of, like, it definitely freaks you out. But at the same, like, I feel like that's kind of where she was coming from. And right after that is when she started disappearing and she started, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that, at least from me, that's what I saw, that she has been through something like that before. And that was too much for her to watch. And that's when she fully went, like, I'm her. She's me. Right? Because she's like, we're the same. But like, that's what I mean. Or like the fact that she chose to do that, like, that's not really her, because eventually, like, that guy was like, you emailed me every day, which I guess kind of might seem that maybe they were working together.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rumi emailing him,
Mm-hmm.
pretending to be her, and be
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to get rid of her. Like, she ain't really me.
Yeah. So that probably was Rumi emailing him.
Yeah, which would make sense
As her.
because if you're going from a place where you had no choice and sadly you were horribly violated like that, and it's not your choice, and then this young girl was like, yeah, I'll do it, even though for her it was horrible, even though it was quote unquote acting, which it was, but it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I feel like maybe that's where it comes from, because I mean, from what I've heard from like actors, real actors, like doing scenes like that in real life, like these actors are like very like they've been acting for a long time. They're not new at it. You know, they're like, they know what they're doing, and even they have to like take a lot of time to decompress, a lot of time to come off that, a lot of time. Like, they don't even allow those actors to see each other for a good amount of time after like filming like a rape scene, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of psychologically, even though it's fake, it does to you. So I mean, she's young. It's her first acting job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that messes anyone up.
I wanted to comment on the fish situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. Let's get some answers.
It's looking like fish in general, when they die, they sink and then float
Okay.
for the
Oh.
most part. So it's kind of hard to say where the fish were at in the decomposition process. It could have been
I
either
had to
or
be
both.
soon because it was like, sorry, I forgot to feed you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because
And then-
she's even gone days without feeding them and they're fine. So it's, again, with the type of thing where it's like, is it just things tripping out in her head or not?
I don't know. I think it also, like, I don't know. For me, in my mind, Rumi, like, drugged her and kept bringing her to her own room
Mhm.
the days that she wouldn't remember. And then when she would wake up, since it's the same exact
Yeah,
room.
and she was like, oh, this was yesterday or whatever. And like, anyway. But I kind of have, while I was looking up the fish situation, I had some revelations.
Oh, okay.
Some fish revelations.
No.
Sorry, that was bad.
No, that was very bad.
Fish relations. Better?
Sure. well,
Fallations.
that's a different word.
Okay,
no,
yeah, I'll stop.
Let's just stop.
All right,
What was
so-
it you're listening?
Like I feel like the pop idol. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name.
Mima.
Mima. Wow.
I had forgotten her name too.
Okay.
Her name's
But
Mima,
I
like
just remembered
Nina
it, so.
from Black Swan, but with an N.
Huh.
So it's Nina in Black Swan, it's Mima in this, but not the
I
same
just
movie.
think mommy, but reverse.
Oh.
Sure, whatever works.
Imam.
What?
Mom.
So yeah, Mima. I feel like Mima could have very well let Rumi die by getting hit by the truck after their confrontation at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she got hit by the truck, right? But that her rescuing Rumi was like her taking back her consciousness, or like her fighting for her identity, you know, her fighting to be a real person. Whereas Rumi remains lost to the truck, I guess.
But then what was that thing right at the end?
Where she
Where
was
she like winks at us?
yeah, she's like, I'm real, because she won against Rumi.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
maybe I'm real, like I'm Mima, like the person that you've been seeing floating around.
Oh, bro. Oh my God.
I mean, that could be a thing. I don't know, and I think that's why I like this movie because we don't really know.
Yeah.
We don't even know if any of those people are real.
Yeah.
And also, one of my favorite things that I love.
Wait, what? I do.
Oh,
I'm real.
Are you?
Therefore, I am.
Or are you an
Okay.
illusion?
What? What?
Do you,
Therefore, I
though?
am.
Or are you just a fish in my tank?
They're all the fish in her
God.
tank.
I'm coming to so many fish relations.
Oh,
No. Anyway, back to what I loved. So you know how the opening scene before it says "Perfect Blue" is her like spreading her arms in front of the crowd when
Yeah.
she's like, ah.
Yeah.
Okay, right before she gets hit by that truck, she does the same thing.
yes.
That's true.
And then you see like the light and stuff, and it's like the same
That's
scene,
true. I'd
and
forgotten
it's
about that.
and I'm like, oh, I love this movie. That's the scene that happened at the end where I was like, yes, this is what I like about film. It's amazing. Like I loved it.
Yeah, because it's like, it's almost like, oh gosh, it's almost like Arrival. You know, the way it's like cyclical, non-linear, even the way that things like repeat to like show something, like I don't know how to explain it. Like you just have to watch both of them to try to get what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I don't know. Are you
'Cause-
real?
Oh my God, I'm a fish. Because like for instance, in Arrival, it's like there are things that happen out of order, or that there are things that happen kind of like in a circle, and then it's like the point of the movie is basically to be that. But this movie, it's like it's doing it to like disorient the main character and us, but in a way that I feel like it adds to the narrative, because it's like it's contributing the narrative structure of it, whether it's like the recurring imagery or the cutting things halfway, moving them back, sliding things over. What day even is it? Was that yesterday? You know, it's kind of like it adds to that like paranoia of the viewer.
Yeah.
What's it called? I agree. I mean, I've watched Arrival and I really like that movie, but I haven't seen it. I don't remember at all. Or like a lot of the things. But I can totally see like the idea of not knowing what day it is, where you are, what's going on. Like, is this like, especially with like the whole meta thing of like the show being filmed at the same time she's going crazy, and the show she's going crazy because the character that she plays in the show is slowly going insane.
Yeah, and there's times that they're filming a scene on different days, and then what day even is it in the show or in real life or the movie?
Because you're like, what? And she doesn't know if she did it either.
Yeah.
Do you realize when she hit the security guy in the temple with the hammer, then she saw an audience applauding her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that was great, you did it. Like if she just did an amazing shot.
That's true.
They did an amazing take,
that
and it
is
was like
really
they cut it,
true.
and then later on you see her, she's like
And
Like
shambles.
struggling down the hall,
She's
and
not
And
really
that
great.
finds her.
happened, right? So this whole time is like her going crazy to try to fit, like,
To like reconcile her own trauma and like loss, I guess,
of what?
of herself.
Her innocence from when she got brutally attacked and fake, quote unquote fake.
Right. Because how fake is that, really?
That was really
Yeah.
bad.
I think it was just she was losing her identity.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe she never even had one to begin with. Because at least that when she was with Charm, she had the two other girls. Cham?
Yeah.
Sorry. Cham, she had the two other girls. But then I was also thinking, I'm like, why not the other girls? Why her specifically?
Mhm. And it's like her mom was talking to her on the phone, like, oh, you talked your whole life about wanting to be a singer, and then she gets there and is so close to her big break, and then does something else. It's like, you know, what do you do when you hit the top? I guess maybe
Right.
it's like
So yeah, that's
it's that
true.
type of thing where it's like she you know, she was living the dream, she was doing what she wanted to do, and then like what else is there after that? I don't know. Maybe that was it.
Wait, when you say why not the other girls, what do you mean by that?
There was 3 of them. Why
Right.
her?
Why her what?
Why
Changing
was she
to acting?
Right? Yeah, like why
It was her decision.
I don't know that it was her
I don't
decision.
know. I don't think it was.
You think it was motivated by
Her agents or
It was
agent
something.
both
and
of
her
them. Yeah, I don't
manager?
think she chose to
Mhm.
be there because sadly, that's another thing that is known about that culture is that these children are kind of like made to be pop stars, right? And not all of them make it, but everyone's like all of these like amazing K-pop artists and actors and actresses, like they're made to be that, right? That's all they know. That's all they
Right.
are.
but
they don't
doesn't
really-
Rumi didn't want she kept calling her filthy for like changing or whatever, and like, oh, now you're doing all
Right.
these sexual things.
Yes, because
So then why would she want her to change? So I think that's why it was her own decision to change.
but that happened after she decided to change, right?
I think what Rumi was holding against her was the rape scene, like her deciding to do the rape scene, which was like
But also the photos.
that was after, and I
Uh-huh.
feel like that comes from the fact that because even though it was a scene and it was acting, for her it felt very real, and for us audiences it was very real to watch. And I feel like after that, obviously she didn't want to do it. She was very uncomfortable. Like being in such a vulnerable position like that, it definitely put her in a very bad place. So after that, she's like, well, I can't disappoint the people that got me here.
yeah.
Right? And then even when she's in the bathroom after the pictures, the guy, it's like, but you said you wanted to do it. Like, we asked you, we made sure that if you were okay with it, and you said you were. And, like, this photographer was known to do that. Right? Because even the other girls were like, she's obviously going to show everything because he's known that he only takes nudes. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, she has no power over that, which is the criticism of, like, she's a woman in this industry. Mostly led by men. All of the audience that watched them at the beginning were all men. There wasn't a single woman. Like, the only women found here were the actresses. Oh my gosh, you were so close to me. You scared me.
Sorry, I was trying to see what the time was.
Okay. So, yeah, I think if you want to go there and be like, she chose it. No, I feel like none of it was her choice. Even her being an actress, she got, quote unquote, being a singer, she got lucky, but it could have been any of those girls. Easily. I feel like it could have been her. Why was it her? That was my question. I don't know. Maybe she's the most popular one, and people are like,
she was the most
oh, they
popular.
love her the
Yeah,
most.
that's right.
Right?
That's
I think
right,
that's
yeah.
what it is. And then
It could have been that because people wouldn't stop talking about her. You know?
Right.
She was always the center.
Yeah.
Right. Also, at the beginning of the scene, it's like there's only 3 left. Remember that? It was like there's only 3 left. There's only 3 left. Man, I have to rewatch it now. Dang it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Anyway, but yeah, so like, and even then, like, she left the girl group and the girls got even more popular.
Yeah. Yeah. which
Right?
is
They were like, we never hit the highs.
charts, yeah.
And then you guys are doing great and you guys don't seem to miss me at all. Which also is probably a hit. Like, man, I did this and now they're even doing better. Like,
Yeah,
man. This is such a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, talking about it,
It's heartbreaking. It's
very
in every sense where it's
sad.
like, dang, man. Like, was it Mima or whatever? Yeah, Mima.
Yeah.
Dang, she can't catch a break, bro.
I know. And then, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, did she? I don't know, because at that point, we're like, she's pobrecita, like, poor her.
Yeah, and then it's like, wait, did she kill all these people?
Did she do it? And if she did, do we feel that sorry for her?
Right.
Like, or does she have like when the actress or the character in the drama, she's like, oh, she has dissociative
Disorder,
episodes.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like she has multiple personalities or whatever.
Right.
Like, so does that mean that the actress is like that? And one of them, you know what I mean? Because at the end, even when she's like winking at us, like, I'm me, I'm here, everything is great.
Yeah.
Which is like, I was looking at the trivia or whatever, and then it's like the perfect blue. The only title that comes from that is like, at the end, the sky is blue and perfect.
Wow. Okay.
Like, that's what it said. That's where that comes from, supposedly.
Wow.
From the sky being perfect blue and no
Why
longer.
do you think it's named Perfect Blue, Josh?
I thought it was something to do with the water for the fish.
Oh, that's so interesting. No, I mean, I'm just going based on what they
But
said on
actually,
the trivia. I don't know.
You saying that, there's a lot of striking color in this movie. There are scenes that are like completely muted, and then it's like a stark contrast to the really bright, colorful, like pop idol life, you know. And the fact, and when you see them come together, and when you see Mima's ghost or illusion or whatever projection, controlling, manipulative demon Mima come in, she's bright and colorful all the time and smiling and pretty. And then you see like real Mima, and she's like huddled in a, you know, she's falling over trash cans and like in shambles. Her clothes is torn, her room's messy. Like it's uneasy to see like the, I guess, perfection in air quotes, you know, come at odds to the reality of Mima's actual mental state and like actual day-to-day life, you know, shopping for milk or whatever. And then there's like this perfect version that is like tormenting her. I don't know.
It was because when you're blue, you're down or you're sad. So it's the perfect state of being in this constant state of mind when you're like completely distressed and going crazy.
Interesting. I like that. I like both, actually. I mean, I just saw the trivia and I'm like, yeah, perfect. I didn't even think of the title.
Yeah.
Until like the whole time. I was like, Perfect Blue, what? And then I'm like, oh, it's because the end. It's like, I'm like, what? Is that true? I don't know what the director, but I like both interpretations. As for me, I'm just gonna stick to the trivia one because that's what I read.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't want to look at anything before it, because I know it was gonna alter the way I saw it.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm sure like I'm gonna definitely go into a rabbit hole of watching a bunch of analysis.
Right. And there's there might be things that we got wrong or things that
not
we
even
interpreted
wrong.
or whatever.
Well,
but like,
the thing about like
you know.
film or art is like you can say it's not wrong or right. It's just what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know,
Yeah.
the director meant something completely different, but that doesn't matter. And that's kind of like the beauty of art, that you can make it whatever you want it to be.
But if I'm looking into a mirror and I see a perfect version of me talking to me, something's gonna happen. Some fish is gonna die.
Yeah, I definitely love those reflection scenes, which I think is the most reminiscent thing in Black Swan, the reflections.
Mm-hmm.
Because reflection shows, like, you know, like in Mulan, reflection, you know, the song.
Yeah.
Right? Like a reflection in a mirror in water, like a bunch of things like that. Like, it's like of who you are. I think you can see that a lot through film and literature, where a mirror or water that reflects you or anything like that, it's like showing your true self, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like whenever she would have scenes like in the train where she would like, you really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, that's when things started.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, interesting. I don't know. Overall, loved it.
Likewise.
And I want to rewatch it now.
Cool.
But
Good.
I think I might not rewatch it just because I don't want to rewatch a couple things, because they did make me very, very uncomfortable.
Yes.
But I might just watch
Yeah.
a bunch of analysis videos for sure.
Same. Yeah, I don't think I will be revisiting this for a while.
Yeah, it's
I definitely would recommend it. I'd recommend it in the sense, if you are our age, go ahead and watch it.
Like a grown up.
But if
we're
you are
adults.
not,
We're in our late 20s, guys.
if you're not donut,
Donut?
don't.
Do
Do
not
not watch
Okay,
this.
Do
yes,
not fish for this movie
definitely.
at the store.
This is, yes, do not fish it at the store.
It's not about the ocean.
Yes.
It's not
I
Spirited
mean,
Away.
No. it's
Don't leave this
not-
on for the kids.
It's not. I think that obviously this is definitely rated R, if not more, because there's, I mean, even though it's animated, you see everything. Like, also there's major trigger warnings for like sexual assault, very
Yes.
graphically. So if that's something that I feel like somebody is very, triggered by that, do not watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I repeat,
Yeah,
do
I thought
not
it was funny
watch
that
this movie.
after the fact, you went on IMDb and you were checking like
Yeah,
the parental ratings and things,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it said, what was it, sexual assault
It was like
severe.
sexual. Yeah, it was sexual. Like different multiple things, like sexual nudity, like severe, like horror, and like a bunch of other stuff.
Violence,
it was like and
severe.
violence, severe.
Yeah, violence
it was
and
like
gore.
It was all
Sex and
severe,
nudity.
except language. It was mild.
yeah, language was mild or alcohol use mild,
Uh-huh.
but everything else was severe.
Yeah.
So if definitely any type of like abuse. Even blood, let's be honest. Like if you're very much into
Gore.
like
Gore
if
was the
it's
other one.
gore that
Yeah.
you do not feel like that's something you can watch, which I can understand. Like my mom cannot watch anything that's gory. It doesn't work for her. No matter what it is, she'll have nightmares. So like if that's something that you can't watch, then do not watch this movie. Like please don't. I want you to be happy and safe. Please don't watch this. Otherwise, if you feel like you can handle a movie like this, that's definitely severe in all aspects except for language, then watch it. It's fantastic. It's definitely a great film, but it's definitely not a recommendation for just any avid watcher of movies. It's definitely for someone that openly wants to explore a new director, a new genre. If you haven't and you're definitely like into film, then yeah, this is something that you want to watch. Otherwise, don't watch it. Just because it definitely puts you in a different headspace, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
But it's phenomenal.
I'd give this movie a good recommendation, like, but just on transitions alone,
Yeah.
I'd put it even higher just for that alone.
Oh, that
It's
was
so well
absolutely
done.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was great.
I kept getting like, I was
Yeah.
in awe every single
Yeah.
time, every single scene. I was like, oh wow, how? Wow, they just keep getting us.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Especially for someone like me, like I don't pay attention to things like that, right? Usually, but this was like wonderful. It was amazing. I was like, oh, I'm crazy. I'm definitely going insane.
Yeah.
So it was awesome, and yeah, I think definitely a thumbs up for me. I recommend it. Aside from those trigger warnings, yeah, it's great. Very good.
Yeah, oh, totally. I'm in complete agreement with the both of you.
We're in
Satoshi Kon,
cahoots.
I will be watching more of his movies.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. And yeah, I went in not knowing much, but I'm glad I watched it. So I feel like
Great.
most people would feel the same.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna rate them on our Letterboxd. If you want to find us, they're gonna be like tagged onto like the YouTube page. It's on there. Like our letterboxes are there, our personal ones. So if you guys wanna either follow us or just kind of keep track of the things we watch, because we don't talk about everything we watch on here. But I mean, I'm for sure gonna write a review on this. I don't know about everyone else, but they'll have ratings for sure.
Yeah.
Check us out there. Check us out on Instagram and. Which is the same name. Movie Amigos Podcast is on Instagram and on Twitter as well, which is movie. What is it?
_amigos.
_amigos. I don't know. Twitter's weird. I don't have the best relationship with Twitter. Like, yeah. Anyway, but just definitely subscribe, share this. Like I said, and other subscribe, like. Smash, what is it? Smash the like button. That's what people
Hit
do
the
now,
bell,
right? Hit the bell notification.
Yeah.
We're very
Put
new
the
to
phone
this,
in
guys.
your mouth.
What's it called? And obviously, leave comments if there's anything you guys would want us to watch based on this. For sure, like we would love to watch
Yeah.
anything like this. It would be great, and we recommend it. And anyway, I think that's it. I feel like we've covered mostly everything. I mean, not everything. I feel like there's so much,
Yeah,
but
There's
from
a
our
lot more,
thoughts, yeah.
Initial, feelings.
Initial
and-
feelings.
Oh, like right off the bat, I could just think like, I love the feel this type of animation can give you. Even though there might be something digital in there, it all feels hand drawn, and
Right.
it just the feeling it gives you. It's such like it's so refreshing every time I see this type of animation compared to now how everything is computer generated. In the way that it looks computer generated.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Even
Okay.
though it can look perfect, then that's fine. But this just gives you that just sense of like crispness, and even though it's like it's drawn, it just makes you feel more alive in a way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when the rain was falling on everyone,
Yeah,
that was just, it's beautiful. I just think it's beautiful.
yeah.
So yeah,
I agree.
just a quick thought about.
No, that's good. And
How about that?
I'm glad you added that. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot for this, for everyone that wants to watch this.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for hearing our conversations. This was actually fun. Maybe we can do another one of these, like where we watch a movie and we just talk about it right after, and kind of clear things out. But otherwise, stick around. There'll be more reviews of more like actually practiced reviews, and just chit chats here and there. And anyway, thank you for joining, guys. Do all the cool things, and we love you. Don't forget that, and we appreciate you.
I love you, Mom.
And yes, Mom, if you're listening, I love you too. Which I hope that all our moms are listening. Well, at least my mom and Hubert's mom.
I don't think my mom's gonna hear this.
My mom will. I'll make her. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
I love you, Mom. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mom.
Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. You have to put up disclaimer that you've lived in Japan before, so it's not racist. Make sure to put a disclaimer, Josh, that you lived in Japan, so it's okay for you to say that.
I don't know if that's necessarily okay.
I'm being sarcastic.
It would be kind of like a Japanese person calling me the N-word. I think I'm ready to rock.
You ready?
I'm ready.
What about that hole right there? Does it matter?
That hole is perfect.
It's closed.
Woo,
The hole is
okay.
closed.
Ready to start? We good? We good?
Set up.
Woo. You know when you're like... All right.